Up, and we got a game. Apparently it's better.
Okay. I think it's my Discord settings. I had to. Discord was set to default input device, which I have no idea what the default input device is, but
that could actually be your webcam. That will not be surprised.
Yeah. All right, let me get in the game. I'm excited about this one. Really excited.
We are.
Hello, PC. How's it going?
Good evening. Good evening. It's going very well.
Have you cooked up a storm for the kids?
It's imminently arriving. Spinach and ricotta cannelloni.
Wow, sounds. Is this an every evening thing or a?
What, that I cook? Not every evening, but
in the brand new kitchen.
Yes, we have a brand new kitchen.
Yeah, I was just accused for
telephone number.
I was just being accused of broadcasting from my toilet, but it turns out I was using my webcam microphone. So.
Yes,
broadcasting from the usual cave.
It's a long way from ideal.
All right, let's get into the. I'll load up the game.
I'm doing the same at the moment. I am behind, so feel free to fill the dead air.
We are just setting up only. It's high elf setting up and is high elf and defense.
So the inducement score?
It's a wizard and a bribe for Gestionador. Dio is a cutter elf, so he's down to 14.
He's fire. Who did he fire? Did he fire the thrower or just random lineman?
He got the thrower, so it must be random lineman, and it's not DMG. How sad! So it must have been a skilled one.
He kept DMG.
I think did he sack a skilled one? Because it's 3 unskilled on the bench, and I think he only had 3 unskilled. I wonder who won the toin course here.
The toin course?
Toin course. Coin toss.
Don't you always do one of those, PC, at the beginning of a match?
I absolutely do.
Cost the old coin. Well, if you were Dio, you would have
picked defense,
kicked, right?
Yeah, but Gestionador might have picked offense to try to pick off some pieces early. Here, toin course.
Yeah, well, I mean, is there ever a scenario where one player wants to pick defense and the other player wants to pick offense? That doesn't make sense to me, surely.
It's a lot of bass coaches seem to have their faces for trying to hit stuff early and often. So a lot of bass like you would be surprised how often people also in that tournament starts an offense, which just makes me smile every time it happened. Dio won the toss, the coin. Fuck's sake, now it's the toin courses.
It will be toin cost forever.
But Dio won it, so you did unpick the Dio.
So wait, in your tournament experience, NAF tournaments, you pretty much always kick, right? Whatever team you're playing?
Yep.
Okay. What's the thinking behind that?
It's because you know what the result is at halftime. So in my drive, if I can pick I pick the tempo of the second half. So if I can stall it for a win, I can need to try to get in, or just go for a draw. There's nothing worse than being 1-0 up and the other guys just trying to settle for a draw. I want to be the one settling for a draw if we have to draw.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
So the whole tempo of it means I prefer starting a defense. And there's also the fact that if you play elves, which I normally do, it's easy to stop with 11, but you can often score with less.
Yeah, and even if you don't score and stall out for the entire 8 turns, if you're facing against a slower team, then they can struggle to 2 or 3 turn.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the game. Yeah. Okay. So
always. And it always makes me happy when people choose to be on offense first. So Gestionador, a bit interesting pick, the tentacles for his skill up on the claw mighty blow warrior.
Okay, how do you feel about that?
I'm a bit surprised it's not tackle. Let's be honest.
Yeah, strength 4 tenths. I need to look up the percentages on that. What's the percentage of strength 3 to dodge away from strength 4 tenths? Reasonably
do
high.
you want the toss?
Yeah.
The toin course. But he won it, and he picked defense. He did take a dirty player rudder, which we all like.
Yep.
And he did take stand firm on the beast, which makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah. He got some nice level ups at the end of that last game, didn't he? Just
farming star player points in overtime.
Yeah, just enabling him to farm a little bit. So will Dio's record of not losing
dying.
many elves continue not dying? Yep, exactly.
So far, it's going well. Yeah, survived the first claw bomb.
Hello, Cornite. How's it going? Well done on your excellent Kislev run and the last. That was Blitzpit, wasn't it? That was fun stuff. Hello, Wolfbark.
Oh, Blitzpit was amazing. I got to kick off both both Kislev teams.
Shawnee's here this evening. I've locked Shawnee back in my toilet. Hello, Asterflix. Apparently, WKNAT clan have
Wank
had their
Nation.
first. Yeah.
Let's just be honest. Big up Wank Nation.
This meme comes from when somebody, I can't remember, was it somebody Jim was playing? It was somebody had named their team Wank Nation or something like that. I think. I can't quite remember what the thing was, but I was kind of watching at the time the stream when it occurred.
Right, so I seem to have caught up and am ahead of the stream again, so I should be able to call a few plays as we see them happen.
And the
Not
kids.
that there's a great deal happening right at this exact moment.
Well, feeding the family is a big priority.
Team Ireland and invited me to their Discord named Wank Nation.
That's right, it's Shawnee.
I hear they are some very fine wankers.
A nation of wankers. Hey, what's going on here? He's deliberately baiting the beast because he wants to. Can he foul him? No, he can't foul the beast.
No, he blitzed. And stunned a warrior instead because armor 9 is fake skill.
Well, these elves have had a habit, which has been a little dispiriting, I would imagine, for their opposition, of being entirely impossible to remove from the pitch permanently.
I was just
doing quite a lot of damage in return.
What do you think about sticking potentially 5 players around the beast here? Isn't that the beast just doing his job, or do you think the beast is going to get isolated and go? I mean, he's not going to activate the beast, is he? So,
I certainly wouldn't. I'd leave it doing exactly. It's doing the Lord's work exactly where it is.
He did not leave any easy blitzes on there, but potentially you could have. There are some turns with elves where you can just not blitz. I know, controversial.
Of course, the problem with this beast is that I wouldn't necessarily have skilled it up with stand firm. I understand why he does.
Okay.
It's a better skill longer term, but for this specific match,
guard.
I'd have quite liked some guard on it, and then use it as a fulcrum to hit around.
Yeah, I could see that as well.
Why for this specific match? I thought stand firm was probably better against elves, isn't it?
It is if you've got the team around it and if it's got the skills to use. But I mean, all it's going to do is stand there and hold an elf. That's not necessarily the way forward. I mean, you need. Yes, exactly. But I'm not sure throwing it into the elves. I mean, Dio's showing such contempt for it as it is. He has the hitting power to take it down, and then, as you said, it's an isolated, expensive piece, not doing a lot. Whereas at least if it's got guard, you can use it as a bit of a fulcrum for your hittier pieces.
I don't know. The beast is can be quite good on defense if it's got stand firm, whereas it's a lot less powerful if you can just uphill it out of the way.
Yes, that is true.
So it might not just be for offense.
did-
Oh my god, something has died!
No, it's badly hurt, of course. You might see. Do we see an early apple?
It's a long old decision about the piling on.
Oh, yeah.
It's a apple straight
It's a
in.
decent piece. I think the Oppo will go on this. Yep.
That's
And
fine.
especially, and of course, because it's a badly hurt, because you couldn't get
Well, that's the same as
hard in.
death.
You cannot get hard injuries in if you do well.
Yeah, as Flix mentions there, that is a nice, well, I mean, interesting reroll there. So basically, both teams have got an extra reroll, haven't they? So he feels, I guess when you've got 4 rerolls, you can go for some damage somewhere, can't you?
Yeah,
certainly in the first half.
Yeah,
and he
certainly
needs
the first, actually, yeah, the first half. The first half, if you are going to greed reroll, the first half when you've got 4 rerolls.
The first half's the time to do it because you get the rerolls back.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh.
You're not facing possibly 2 halves off the same rerolls. Plus, also, as Nurgle here, I mean, you're looking for
you need an
advantage.
attrition.
You need to get ahead here somehow because you're starting the game behind.
Yeah.
If
I
Nurgle
think
just go
that's
in,
obvious to anyone. And at the same time, you've also got your ball secure, which is, of course, #1 job against any elf team. So that means that some of the rerolls you thought that might have to go, if there was, a deep kick that you had to get up to the cage area, that might have taken some rerolls. So that need for them in the first half, for the next 2 or 3 turns, we're going to see a lot of caginess. We're not going to see a lot of reroll use. So you can take a greed one at this point. It's not the. It's one of those wonderful circles where you'd tell a newer player not to be doing that, but at this level, it's probably okay to be doing that.
Yeah, I don't hate it. And Astroflex was just a bad joke on Deuce team being almost unharmed through all the rounds, where I lost 7 elf in 2 games.
Yeah.
So it was nothing against that, and I'll never use it on.
But that's high elves, baby. They come with AV8, which of course never breaks.
Fair enough.
And even the AV7 ones, people just forget they've got AV7.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your plan as Dio here? You got a load of people on the beast. Do you just?
He just kills the beast, doesn't
The
he?
Mighty Blow is also on the beast, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
he set that up last round by himself. So I imagine
he looks like he's after the beast. I don't 100% understand why, but he seems to want it out of the game. He thinks it's a problem, maybe. Obviously, his ideal game here is to stall up the first half and prevent them storing and Daka the second half.
I like the way the Gestionador's keeping his dirty player like at the back here.
He's not used to having one.
He's not used to having a dirty player. That's right, but I mean,
yes, let's hope we're going to see it used roundedly and towards an elf in the very near future.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, he didn't pile on much last game, Gestionador, and didn't foul well at all last game because he didn't have a dirty player. I think and didn't foul very much. So
yeah, I mean, I didn't hate any of that. He seems to play positionally. If you build a team with enough spikes on it, you're going to get some of the attrition anyway.
Sure.
But there are games where you have to really turn that up if that genuinely is plan A. And against this many elves, you're not going to win necessarily the attrition war long term unless you win it every drive. So you do need to get up on numbers, otherwise they've got the skills to just punish you. And if they can isolate pieces, it's nightmarish. Yeah, and there it goes. So it works.
Oh my god!
The gospel according to D2, when you see a twat mag, put some twats at it.
And its weekend fails.
Oh Jesus, that is glorious, glorious as Shawny says. Oh fuck's sake!
One hesitates to use the word inevitable because of the wry smile it would raise on Dionysian's face. But yes, one felt that was coming all the way.
Yeah.
Early GG, easy game.
And now he fouls and kills the claw bomber.
Well, he's got to dodge away from first.
Yeah, but that's 55%. Somebody did do the math on that.
Yeah.
It's more
yeah,
likely
he's got the spare elves.
And then this game is pretty bad.
Yeah, but if you stand up the guy and stick to the tent,
no.
Right.
It escapes the tentacles, of course.
Would you re-roll this? Foul on the claw bomber?
It's Dio. I'll not even be surprised, and he did.
Thanks.
Again, it's a first half. You can greed reroll a little bit.
Yeah, and he's normally quite aggressive. with reroll.
And he's already got a piece up. You can sort of try and lean into the equity of that.
If you're elves and you see your lovely team being clawed,
What a distasteful thought.
Your elf team is going to be claw bombed to a tackle for 8 turns. You do what you can to try and remove that piece if it's down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think that's definitely worth the reroll.
Plus, as Cor was saying, at that point, with this turn looking so wonderful with the beast gone, if you can even remove that on a knockout, you've won this drive. They're going to stall up and be terrified.
Very.
And you're well ahead in the game. So the other thing he'd love to see, of course, is to really pull the whiz this half.
Yeah, if force Gestionador to use the wizard. Would you, if you were Gestionador and it was looking a bit dicey, would you use the wizard to try for a maybe score?
Yes.
Or would you?
Yeah, I would.
It's better. It's still better to use the wizard and score than not score.
Right.
I'd still want to go in at 1-0 and try and defend the 1 turn.
So you'd rather go with 1-0, 1-0, having used the wizard. Then
yes, because I just don't have the belief that I can necessarily. I mean, I'm pretty good at hunting teams down, and I do it with very slow pieces sometimes. But these are Dio coached, incredibly fast, incredibly agile elves. That sucks to be trying to chase them down.
Also, that equation has changed with the beast removal, hasn't it? Like
it definitely has.
Be a lot worse. Like,
and at 1-0 up, at worst case, I'm probably looking at overtime. And then if I get the ball, it could all be good. And I've still got that chance of hunting him down in the second half because suddenly the pressure's on him. So definitely I would throw the whiz into scoring.
Okay, we'll see whether he needs to or not.
It's another one of the reasons why I like to go first in an overtime format.
Yeah, because you
can throw everything into getting your score in. You can use up all your rerolls, and if you've got any toys, you can use them too, just to try and get ahead.
I was about to say this file will be so much better in Blood Bowl 2 where the 2 Garda in 2020 where the 2 Garda was actually a thing.
Yeah, good
But
point.
that's a rowdy 9/9 foul. Yeah, it's not a given 1/2, and to be fair, I'm moving 9/1/2 without sidestep either. There's still a lot of dice you need to roll against Sting
and there's going to be a fair amount of FA and DP around, and that can get in the way of 1 turns. It really does just jade those dice that little bit that you don't want.
That was a Shawnee approved foul. He gave that 3 Shawnees out of 5.
It's a bit rowdy. It was
nice and rowdy. I don't hate it though. You've got the bribe, you've got the player for it,
and
you need to take that.
And Dio is going to use it if he gets the chance.
And you need that on-field swing back in your favour because of the beast going out.
Yeah, but they got a bribe.
May as well lose 8-0 as lose 1-0 here. You've got to turn this around. And a rowdy foul that has a chance to be lucky is an option to do that.
And they got a bribe, Asta. So
absolutely.
Which is a factor as well. I'm not sure he does it without a bribe.
It's not that good a player that's out, but removing that extra foul option from Dio is still something that was worth doing.
I'm quite excited for this game already. This has only been like 3 turns. The pickup, there was no fuss on the pickup and cage, so it stabilised quite quickly. And then the beast going, the Apo going, the dirty player going. I guess the dirty player's not too bad for a Dio because he's got a huge bench, but
the problem
he's got a bench of 3, isn't he? So.
But there's only like a couple of them that's really bad for Gestionador. There's potentially the regular tackle, and then there's the catchers. There's a lot of elves that's not really important.
Yeah, but they've all got blodge though, haven't they? So they're all really good.
Yeah,
I think pre-game, even with the Apothgon, which I think is the biggest miss, and mainly because it can be used tactically at other times. So it's fine that it's gone. But even with the Apothgon, I think Dio would have taken this game state pre-game if you offered it to him. Getting the beast out is such a huge game changer. And not just for this drive, but for the whole game.
Pretty lucky. Hello, Yak. Good evening. Hola. Impression so far from the casting team. What? Whether the chat like the casting team? Oi!
Actually, Dio's been that hit on the beast was a bit of a banger.
Just before anyone says anything, can I say I'm massive don't care. I'm going to keep talking even if people hate it. That's not relevant. But you're welcome to your views.
You'll be on the need for mere approval. You need adulation, PC.
I just don't care. I'm going to say what I want to say. If people like it, great. If they don't, other opinions are available. Ones that are wrong.
I agree with you, Paraveil. The Beast is a big piece to lose when you're fighting against elves and you got some sort of shitty banger team, haven't you? So you're supporting Dio. And seeing elves win Chalice could be cool. Yeah.
It's quite a nicely built shitty banger team. I mean, it's not got too over aggressive. We've got some nice solid.
It's mainly just block guard. He's gone.
Nurgle warriors with some block guard, which are very, very difficult.
I think there's only one choice that me and Core would have disagreed. Well, actually, we probably would have disagreed with the tentacles, but
that's the awful guard. That awful guard on the wrestle attacking strength 4.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a strange choice.
That player will be so good for 2 heads.
Yeah, Yak, I agree with you. It was strange, Dio, putting so many players around the Beast, and I was thinking I would be fine with the guy banging on the Beast for a little while, banging on the.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of doing his job, but it worked. Unfortunately, the mighty blow. It was the mighty blow elf took it down, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it needed the mighty blow to break armor.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have done that. For example,
no, I wouldn't have done that.
And I'm thinking is that because I'm wrong?
Well, I mean, it was clearly a plan. I mean, there's no mistaking it. He absolutely went for it.
Well, I mean, it was kind of a plan. So basically, he wanted to blitz something with his mighty blow on turn 1, and he didn't blitz the Beast. He blitzed a warrior and stunned a warrior, but left some players. He had to stand up some players to be able to do it on the Beast. So he ended up with a lot of players on the Beast because he blitzed the warrior turn 1, and then he kind of left himself having to hit and base up the Beast turn 2. And it paid off for him, but I think I would have been tempted to not blitz as elves there, but
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess in his defense, he does have the strength pieces to knock the Beast over and escape on a turn if he needed to. And I'd be amazed if that had persisted for another turn or two of the Beast getting knocked over and standing back up, if he wouldn't at some point done a tactical withdrawal. But unfortunately, it worked. So, sometimes you go for the twat magnet and it works your way.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes somebody bases your track magnet for 16 turn with peasants without really losing any of them. It's a fun game.
So how much, as Nurgle here, how much priority do you put on scoring on turn 8? You're one man up, but you're a beast down.
It's all I live for. You can't score on turn 7, then you may as well not score.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't give these high elves 2 turns against you, even with the disturbing presence of foul appearance and the pieces you've got.
That's 285. That's just...
It's not sensible.
I think
I'd rather not give them 1 turn, but I can't make that happen.
I don't know. I think... there's 285s. But he does have the wizard as well, so
he does. And I'd be slightly rowdier in how I was taking the space right now. I think there's space up this sideline for a much, much stronger move. So I'm a little confused as to why we haven't gone for it a bit more.
Yeah, but if he stretches it now, that's what I was thinking. Like, how much does he go up this sideline right now? And if he stretches it now, then he could end up getting there a bit too early, maybe, or like having to potato a little bit because he leaves some of his slower pieces behind in the center. And then only moves.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone all the way up. I'd have gone perhaps 2 steps further forwards. I think that can still be reconnected to the rest of the team.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of the elves would be, now much more frantically trying to reposition in front of me, and that should free up the other players.
You might still see Dio just take the guard pesty and just stand in the way.
Yeah, I certainly think he'll put something in the way at this point. I mean, we are now only 4 turns, so you do need to make your ground at some point.
Yeah, it's a really delicate timing thing, isn't it? You don't want to get there too early. You don't want to leave it too late either. And
well, if you get there too early, you need to get there in such massive force that there's nothing they can do.
But usually
But
that's
certainly-
if you've like you've caused a lot of removals, you can do that. Brute force your way down to a corner and.
That didn't happen on the first turn. We were always looking at a game where it wasn't going to be a massive removal amount.
Yeah, he has kind of abandoned the centre, like Shawnee says. So he's abandoned the centre, taken the side, but not pushed up the side. So 4 turns left. The switch is really not on, I don't think. I mean, I can't see the switch happening with Nurgle against movement 8 strength or movement 9 strength 4 catcher.
I mean, you kind of want them to try and switch, because as long as you can hold the central area you're holding at the moment with a couple of pieces, they're going to have to switch around behind it,
But
and that probably means using some re-rolls or some go for it's that you sort of want them to without actually gaining a lot of ground. So if you can hem them up on this side and force them into switching, it's probably good.
Yeah.
So the re-roll's gone. So now that might mean Dio has to give him a little more space, or put the catchers at risk up this flank.
And you probably don't want to let him too many hits on the catches because they're his best pieces.
Yeah. So there's no good choices about that. Okay, this is the way to solve it. Yeah.
Yeah, now you can protect it behind.
So now you can get some of the slower linemen round.
Yep. Hello, Orilensis and Jehanian. Nice to see you. Hello, Sick. You have to believe your Kaz the first hit. Okay, so he's gonna strength. He's gonna put some strength in depth on the right hand side here.
Yeah, the classic double-skinned elf wall.
I would say it's looking good. Like the thing is, looking good for Dio to stall this one, but then he's got the choice of whether to use the wizard or not. But what I was saying earlier, I guess, was that like when we were talking about using the wizard, you use the wizard if it's a clear opportunity to score, but maybe
not to create
50-50 to score. If you use the wizard and it's 50-50 to score, what do you do then? Like that's big decision time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's absolutely. That's when reading the game state and your mood becomes really key.
What I really like here is that he's using his blodge pieces to really bully the Nurgle blodge guard pieces against a team that only has 2 tacklers.
It's a bit, we're back to that 10s. Why the hell that is not a mighty blow tackle?
Yeah, if that was tackle, like you would not want to stick your dudes on a mighty blow claw block tackle Nurgle warrior. Like that's just stupid. But he can stick on a 10th guy, no problem. It's 30% to get a power or something on 2 dice. So it's like, who cares? You know, you can just bully the Nurgle, and the Nurgle are going to find it really, really difficult to get any mobility here.
Well, and as we can see, Dio able to move around in his own backfield at liberty, picking the shape he wants rather than forced into choices, which is not good to see from the Nurgle's point of view. You see something very aggressive here. If you've got the tentacles, you need to use them. You need to ram them right up into something's face and try and get some turnover, some traction that way. Oh, that's not going to help. That's not going to do it.
Oh, the wrong one rolling the power.
Wrong power, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, he should have had tackle, and then that'd been a knockdown. Oh, because again, 10s is worse than 50-50. It's just
get a cheeky foul in here. No, he doesn't. He needs a foul here. So yeah, blodge steppers.
Yeah, it's a question if Dio's stepping in to get bomb hit to try to defend his other guard piece, I will reckon.
This is good elf play from Dio. Like this is what elves should be doing. Developed elves should use their blodge and blodge step as a weapon to and that's why sometimes like dwarf and that's why chaos and Nurgle are so much easier to beat than dwarfs and dwarfs, or that's how I see it as elves. Like I find it difficult to beat those teams because you can't do the normal sort of bullying pressure tactics nearly so often. You have to really, really think hard if you're going to go basing, whereas you can base a lot more freely if you're facing a team with only 2 tackles.
Apu is used. It's a 3-man bench. He used the Apu on the 85 turn. 2, 1?
Yep.
1, 2.
So one of them was an Apo badly hurt.
And because of the KO, he didn't need to pile on, and he can retreat, and now he can foul. Yeah, but you don't really care about that. Sorry, but The benching's
Ooh.
fine, but
Another
it's not those players that's the problem. It's the skilled players. Those 3 pieces, the Nurgle, it's bodies, but that's what he's going for now. Is the guard? It's those blood guard pieces and the catches.
That's a really good turn for Gestionador, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 good removals, 1 permanent.
Yeah, that dirty player's been doing good work. That's 2 for 2. Because it's.
He needed to get that Blood Stepper there, and he did get the Blood Stepper the second time round on the second hit on the Blood Stepper, and that cleared the way for the foul.
Yeah, exactly, and he followed up, so he could pile on the Blood Stepper, but with getting the natural removal, he couldn't return again, and they open up for the space.
Now things are looking a bit more ropey. He's got 3 turns to defend Dio.
Yeah, and that's. Question is if he cannot go too rowdy if he wanna also defend.
Can he get a smackdown on the niggled strength 4, edge 5, movement 9? He's protected.
I was about to say even I will almost sacrifice my touchdown to get a palm hit on that. Like I will be serious. I was looking at if I had to play Dio's team. I would be looking at. I will have thinking hard about just bolting it straight up before doing anything.
Yeah, who would bolt the strength 4, edge 5, movement 9, right?
Yeah, and who will just sit on his wizard and not bolt it at all? Fucking hell! Disappointing.
He's going for a mighty blow on the.
Oh,
Snake. He was going to try and eliminate the dirty player that's been crumpling lots of his good players, but he snakes.
now he's getting that cat that what? Yeah, he's going into the middle now, surely, and dirty playing that one. Can he do that? Does he have time to do that? Or do he need to go for the catch here to get upfield? Oh, that's so tempting. Oh. You hit.
I think he's going to need some. If he does a switch into the middle, the thing is, Dio's got 2 players in the center. He's got the wrestle tackle guy and he's got the blood step guy, and he can't remove.
But you cannot get much forward that way. That's the problem.
Yeah, you can't get rid of both of them, can you? So you could blitz the blodger and then clear a foul on the mighty blow guy, but then you would be leaving the wrestle tackle guy in place, and you wouldn't get much forward progress.
I think I was about to say, you take those hits, and if that's the pow, you got an easy. You can easily move up the middle.
Yeah. You could still get some guard in here and then get a hit
you got horns
on the edge 5.
Or you have wrestle tackle if you want to make sure you open that gap. But you don't want to be in that square.
I think I would go for him with the killer and look for a push at least. If it's a push, it's not too bad. You just took a couple of GFIs and
Really.
I think this would have been my move as well.
And he's following up and he's palming it.
Oh, this is big.
Oh, it's a great injury! And it's Nickling doing it. Oh, actually, there was Mighty Blow as well, so that's definitely a dead elf. Nickling didn't even.
It would have been a counter anyway, yeah, so. Wow. Alright, we're going to see some Dio magic, or we're going to need to see some Dio magic. That's huge! GG, says Darkest Dung. GG question mark. I would hold up before saying GG. Dio can still stall out the second half. I don't think Dio is. I think it's looking good for Gestionador scoring here. Or is it actually?
He can.
Oh wow! So whilst I was getting dessert for the kids, we've seen a Kaza launch.
Niggled Super Elf got blitzed and removed without piling on needed. If you're Gestionador, you definitely type GG in the game chat for to establish dominance. Help meme, hello, how's it going for Norfolk? Right, let's get the ball upfield.
Well, that's the bench gone.
Yeah, and also some really good players gone.
Yeah, so we're still 11 on 11. And with a wizard in hand, the elves have got to like the look of that still. But yeah, that's a big swing towards the Nurgle.
He's lost
that
his
magic
super
elf
guy.
is history, yeah.
He's lost a Blodge Guarder lineman, and he's lost his Dirty Player. That's not huge, but
What is he? Okay. He's going to get some work next turn, but I guess he is quite out players.
No, I'm not from Norfolk. I'm from Essex, but I remember watching your streams up and thinking that guy is proper Lowestoft. Which isn't Suffolk. Hang on, what am I talking about?
Now, with only 6 elves left on the field, it does allow the Nurgle to get right up in the faces, doesn't it? And so, if you want to have a fight, we will have a fight.
Yeah, which is
Whilst
what
we're talking of the people of Essex, that's.
But the thing is, with this placement, I was about to say he needs to do something over here. Otherwise, that uphill hit on that Garter was really tempting. And then potentially try to go for the wrestle, tackle, sack on the ball, just to make it hard for Nurgle to score.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's just to push in there and give them some chance.
Yeah, uphill on the yeah. I think that would have. I would have tried the uphill there.
Yeah, I'm definitely again. You have the block skill, so it's only 30% to failure.
Yep.
And the upside was huge with that placement until he arrived.
Okay, so 2 turns remaining. What do you do as elves here? You got 1 guy on the tents. You got potentially plenty of guys to just dodge. Do you just screen it? Is there a way into the
do you have
ball?
enough to screen it? You need to screen it in a way so Gestionador cannot get into the middle where he can run both ways in turn 8, I think.
Yeah, that's right. If you want to try and screen it with 6 players, then
the first turn you need to push them towards an edge, so the second turn you can screen it.
Yeah, I mean you could potentially blitz the big strength beastman in the middle, and that leaves the Nurgles pretty much on the right hand side, and then you just kind of screen up the right hand side mostly.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'd be looking to do here. Also because it just creates the free movement that you need. That gets you 3 elves out and active, and the 4th one, the Garter, can dodge off afterwards. So it doesn't commit to anything that you have to leave. You can choose where all 4 of those go. The 5th one can come off the back side of the ones that caught off on the edge, and then for once the tentacles could be useful.
I think we've got
That's the last one you should try to recover.
It seems like the US has decided the same.
He is going rowdy. Yeah, absolutely. He's taking that guard into the cage.
Uphill to get the guard on the ball.
Yeah, I think Johannian has a point. It's really hard with that few players to screen it off. If you want to stop it, the best chance is actually going all in to actually do something against it.
Well, yeah, but the failure state means you're going to get a whole ton of guys pommed, surfed, or whatever.
Yeah, it's. But he's already.
And you're still getting the maximum of 1 dice here, aren't you?
Yeah,
and that's an absolute maximum.
What's he doing here? How's he doing this?
No, he can.
There's guard covering every entrance at least once. So you need to cancel, and even then, it's going to be 1 up, 1 down.
Can he?
Is he coming in from the back? Yeah.
Yep, and it fails, and he stays in the game.
Yep.
But now there's 2 catchers that can be fouled.
And there's a.
Well, you can't foul them both. So to some ways, that is a sort of. It's almost like playing from down, isn't it? Because.
Yeah, true.
You know, at least one of them will survive this next turn. And then he's certainly not going to foul in turn 8. So, maximum you're risking 1 of those 2 being lost.
Could do. He's been really cheeky. Was that a 1 in 27 around about to get sent off with a bribe? No, 1 in 3 times 6, right? So yeah, about 1 in 24.
Ooh.
That was big.
Yeah, now you hit it. You need to blitz that now. Sure.
Did you make that 3 dice? Oh.
I cannot really, I think, if you want to make sure you get people forward as well. I think it's fine taking the 2 dice.
Okay.
Yeah, they're elves. You can't trust them. You've got to have some support around that ball as it moves forward.
Yeah.
Even with only, what is it now, three of them alive and well?
He's going to be able to at least stun this Mighty Blow guy, I think.
4, yeah.
He's got 2 nice stuns. He's got a line man who's movement 6 and is out of the play.
Yeah, those 2 stuns make it really hard to do anything.
Yeah.
It does. The lineman should be more or less out of the play. But of course, he can move 8.
That's a long way down.
Is he looking at a GFI with the ball?
That's that rudder on the scale.
Is he just going to cage up here?
Hey, he's catching there. It's fine. But he needs to use the dirty player now. Probably.
Disappointing, using the dirty player.
Yeah, I don't like, but it's hard to make sure because you don't want to block that sidestepper, do you?
I do want to. The question is, am I going to?
I think he could have screened
if I do it, I
okay,
first.
You can do that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. You can screen it like that, hit it first, and then you can definitely recover. You can definitely recover a piece even after this. Yeah, of course, doesn't get it.
Yeah, and it gives you 3 dice. Oh, okay. Yeah, you've got 3 rerolls for 2 turns.
I don't know. You know, I think
that is rowdy, the reroll.
Yeah.
I think with the 2 big stuns, on the.
I certainly wouldn't have advanced after that.
You hit there and you go take the guard back.
I think with the 2 big stuns on the elves in the center, he could have screened with less than 4 pieces.
Yeah, probably.
He could have fouled something. I would have been wanting to get the dirty player in on the action.
Yeah, I think that was possible, but
at least the guard was
it's nice and safe.
Guard anyway.
Like he could have.
The tentacles is there actually doing its job. It's holding both those elves on the sideline.
Yep.
So whilst it's not, I again wouldn't have picked that skill myself, but using it effectively, I think he scores an A+. I think this drive it's been used where it needed to be.
It's just not actually done
limited help it can offer.
It's been scaring people and they've been snaking, trying to dodge away from it. That's what it's been doing.
Yeah, the one time anybody's tried to dodge away from tents, he snaked the dodge. Pass the tent, snake the dodge.
Yeah, but all you can do is put it in the places where it might help. It doesn't mean it's going to.
But we're back again. Tackle have been doing.
Yes, tackle would have done a lot better.
But okay, it looks cool.
It does look cool.
Tents is not the worst one. I think it's the extra 2 heads on goblins look absolutely awful. That's like an add-on jumping. The tents on the warrior looks pretty okay.
It's not up there with the tail on the rat ogre, which I can just sit and watch all day. That's fine. So what do you do? I mean, do you need to try and recover that?
Tents did a thing.
Yeah, there we are. You see,
and rerolled. Tent still did a thing.
You wait. Next season, we're going to see tent build chaos dwarves,
and that. And now it needs to that sidestep is getting served now. Surely.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would.
It's 3 dice. It's fucking 3 dice.
It's
he's
3
Nurgle,
dice.
he's
There's
doing
nothing.
it.
Yeah, go for it.
It's
Lovely.
3 dice with block.
Now, if this dies, we really are in a situation where the only elves left are starting to look fairly ordinary. Although, of course, they are still elves, and high elves are wonderful out of the box. Not super skilled, but armoured, agile, and fast.
Oh, 3 dice? Oh, piling on. Yeah. That's also a chance, but... yeah, maybe. What's the odds?
Yeah, I was just wondering about that, carry on. Like,
The thing is, again, you still need to break armor. Yeah, but we cannot...
I think it's a better...
Yeah, the thing with the serve is that you automatically get a roll for casualty. And that's worth so much more than pomming someone yourself. Even though claw pomming is, of course, very effective.
You don't get the mighty blow on the surf, though.
No, you don't get the mighty blow.
But you often need to use that anyway to break the armor even with claw. Even on
Yep.
average roll with claw, you still need mighty blow to break armor.
It's definitely worth considering whether the.
Yeah, and probably he did. He did take his time to set up that serve.
Yeah.
But I mean, yes, it was as possible to claw palm it without giving it anywhere to escape and surf it if that was a push.
But you need to break
So
armor.
perhaps that might have been worth thinking about. But yeah, it's about breaking the armor, isn't it?
You need to
I
break
think
armor.
I'd do the push, do
Yeah.
that guaranteed roll on that table,
And you also
because
need
good things can definitely happen.
You could also fail the knockdown on the 3 dice as well. You do still need a 5+ and 3
Yeah, but
dice.
it was set upable so that if you did, there was a push afterwards.
Triff would have taken surf, yeah, maybe. Okay, so
No, he's definitely not. Shut up, Woofback. Go away.
lol.
So we are back to 11 elves already.
Yep, but it's quite some different 11 elves.
Yeah, bribe has not been used yet, so even if, well, I mean, I would say he can be pretty aggressive with it. I mean, I don't know. How would you use the dirty player in the second half? Would you really try and lock down the elves? I mean, if you lock down even if you don't turn them over, if you don't turn the elves over, then
You don't. I don't think you need to.
Are pretty low. You don't think you need to turn the elves over?
I'm not sure. Like, depending on what deal. If you get a chance to pick off elf outside, if Dio's trying to dagger, we'll probably see Dio daggering it.
Yeah.
And then
I 100% guarantee you we will see an attempt at the Dakar if it's at all on.
It's what the people want.
Oh God, it isn't. It so isn't. Anti-death of Blood Bowl tactic that it is.
At least.
It's a very interesting game state because there's 11 versus 11 right now. So
Yeah.
I would be wanting to use that bribe. You know, every tool I've got, I want to put to my advantage. And if I can find a decent elf, I'm going to foul it.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly not going to sort of give up all impetus of defending it in order to get a couple of good fouls away. I'm not at that position with the Nurgle.
I think you want to
because if I can stop them, and that's always a possibility, even with a really fast, agile team, then I win the game. So it's certainly worth trying.
I think you want to be forcing Dio into a situation where he has to burn rerolls. Trying to get him to burn rerolls. If you can get some early reroll burn, like putting pressure on as much as you can. If he is dackering, then
I don't. I think the magical mechanics is, if I remember right, there's people being actually adding it up. If it's higher guild team, you need them to make a few higher ones with the 1, but still enough. But if it's 8-3, if you have the 2 where they need to roll 3+ multiple times, it's easier for them to fail because you cannot reroll the same. I prefer 2.
Do you set them 1 back for the quick snap?
I prefer. I don't like it being all the way up because quick snap fucks with that.
Yeah.
I personally take 2 squares between normally just because it sets up better for a riot.
Also, if you set them up on the second rank like he has done there, not only does it make it slightly vulnerable to a quick snap, but you can use the players to help form the boxes if you're getting
some of them are then more active.
He's setting up the assist. Right now you can push around the guard in the other side. It's a bit hard because it springs for everything and Father Burns.
Yeah.
But you can push down between the block guard and the guard to the right side. And you've got already the assist. Then you can have the last push from the white zone. So you already got those 2 in that side is giving you a path to push down. Which is never good.
The problem is that you put your ball receiver into a lot of disturbing presence.
This is bad no matter what with 8-4. But he needs to go that way with the sidestep. That is the most obvious way to go. Alternatively, sometimes you can block those 2 to the right and take his off-center piece and go around the front corner. Or past that one.
But you've got to knock 2 strength 4 over reliably to do that first.
We were talking in general terms against the setup.
Yeah.
Hey Keith, I don't think so because he's just got 1 turn to try and score here, so leaving 1 flank open is fine. He's going to be the elf player. The elf team needs 3 pushes to get an elf 3 squares forward before he makes the run for the end zone. So, and doing that, you have to. The only way you can do that is by pushing the Nurgle players around, so that you can get sidestep pushes to get your elf forward. So you can This is a good one-turn defense, or a decent one-turn defense.
And he, of course, gets the rad.
Me having just said that, then it's not quite such a good one-turn defense. Oh, what a lucky bastard!
That's steal for you.
Now, this is one of my favourite situations.
And I prefer, we're back again, I prefer being everything a little bit deeper because it makes it easier for me to navigate if people get a riot. It's still not super easy because he still needs to get around that corner, but it's relatively much easier than the one-turner ever will be.
This is great, isn't it? Like, this is exactly what he wanted. So,
but he could have used this movement 985 now.
Yeah, sure. No, Keith, you just go for it. Just ask stuff. I'm trying to keep an eye on chat as we go. I just ignore most of the people in chat. Johanian, Sick as Eggs, Wolfbark. But we'll take your questions. Wizard. You think you would wizard here, Johanian? See how far Dia gets and how many players Dia gets up there.
Whoop! Tent's doing a spin again. That's huge, though. That's a guard piece that cannot assist on that block now. That's leaving one less.
Yeah, but also that tent is right in the way of just about everything you want to go around. I'd have been tempted to hit it, but clearly he's going to hit the blodge piece out in the corner.
Yeah, he also decided to hit the other way with the mighty blow.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh.
Is he just going to get some receivers up there, not cageable? If he gets receivers, then he has to receive in the stink next turn. But I'm not sure he can get enough people up there to make a safe cage, can he? Can he? He's going around this way.
It's going... Is
he going for the one-turner anyway? And then if he fails to get the pushes, he is going to just leave it on. He's moved a scoring throw up there. I think he's going for the one-turner anyway.
Yeah, and he's getting a bit away from the stink as well, where he's pushing.
Yeah, he's gone towards the outer edge, which is interesting.
And it gives him, he gets the out because he has scoring threat in the other side. I'm not sure it's much of an out if it fails.
No, it doesn't look that easy. If this fails, it doesn't look that difficult to stop it.
His scoring threat does have blodge. Oh no,
without strength 12 tackle, and the opponent cannot, but he's sensible put his... and he doesn't get any ones, but does the stink more now.
He's getting the pushes.
But it leaves the stink. And a assist, and that's still a really, really hard catch.
Yeah, he might not. He might just push this one through as well and give himself 2 receivers.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout by now.
And he could get the Rackle, the other last catcher, through for a receiving threat as well, I think.
Just about.
He can certainly give it a try somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
There's no harm in it failing.
Gets bone. Yeah, it also means if he can get up and hand off to somebody and pass to the end zone. But that failing is not good.
So there's a 1 in 9 dodge failed. That means there's only one scoring threat. That means he's probably not scoring here.
Yeah,
certainly not scoring.
I think it's extremely unlikely.
Yeah, there's no else catchers he can push next turn, is there?
So do we like how Dio played that turn?
No.
It seemed a lot to push
simple
that.
answer.
It seemed
I'd have gone through the blodge piece on the corner somehow, in more force than he did.
Oh.
I think he was caught between 2 different plans. Oh dear.
Oh, wrestle.
Okay.
Can the dirty player get over and
never really nailed either down to the point where now he's in a pickle.
Well, he's not in a pickle. That's just a big opportunity wasted, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. You either just go for the one turn still, because there's nothing. If it works, there's nothing they can do. And if you think that's what you're set for, you just 100% go for that. And I didn't really feel he did that.
I just don't think the one turn was very good odds. Like, I thought the one turn was terrible. But I mean,
I think
or you back out and you reposition, and he didn't manage that mental agility on the fly. Perhaps if they dodge off the central piece, perhaps that was the fulcrum for him. And if that had worked, he would have gone around the edge.
Is he?
What, with the dodge away from tents?
Yeah.
But
he could have blocked the tense guy. He could have blocked the tense guy with his mighty blow guy on the first action, right?
Yeah.
First action he took, he pushed the wrong way, or the other way.
Yes, he did.
But is he about to leave a one turn on that on his catcher?
Yeah, surely not. Surely he's mousing over and assessing lengths.
Do you mouse over
Certainly should be.
lengths many evenings then, PC?
Oh, I'm obsessed with lengths.
He's going for the catcher.
I like it. I like a good length. Everyone knows that.
No, he's not. What the
No,
fuck is going on? It's not easy
Is
still.
he deliberately helping?
He wants a foul.
Of course he wants a foul, but still.
Yes, if that hadn't knocked over that catcher, it could have been very bleak indeed.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought as soon as he rolled that riot, I was pushing big up the right hand side, blitzing the blodger, the blodge pesty.
Yeah.
And I thought it was looking really good.
So was I.
Yeah. Like you even get to you need some GFIs. You will need some GFIs to do that. But he's got 2 rerolls, so you can that push. They're never going to score back on you, are they? So I think I would have gone for a massive push up the right hand side.
It's a bit rowdy,
yes, I
but
definitely would have.
We can switch view, but I don't think it's particularly much easier to assess from a preferred behind the defense. But in this case, for chain boosters, he can.
Yeah, stay behind the offense, and I'm not seeing anything. Trust me, from the other end, that is exciting.
You could probably. It's a bit rowdy and stuff because you can fill that square up, which means you can blitz. You will be able to blitz and try to move him forward, but it'll be tackle dodging and 6+ handoffing. But like you say, you might hand off and see if you make the handoff and take it from there.
So just to explain a bit of for the newer players in chat, that this is a really difficult catch to make because the Nurgle disturbing presence is a -1 for every Nurgle warrior that's within 3 squares. So if he's the only scoring threat here is the catcher, the mighty blow catcher, that's currently needs 2 more pushes to get forward.
But that's -2, so that's. Does he have anything? Oh, you can hand off to another one and pass to end zone. Yeah. The thing is, by doing that, you need to rescue players doing the bad stuff.
Yeah, and the problem is that almost everyone is in a stinky handoff zone.
The Rog tackle guy's in 2 stinks, isn't he?
Yeah, 2. That's down there as well. So he's in 2. Yeah. Everybody is in at least 2, I think. Besides that lineman over here.
I think Journey's right. It's going to be pretty much a 6+ catch, whatever happens, isn't it? So
that's a lineman over here.
But at least he's got catch, so it's a 1 in 3 shot because you're going to get 2 rolls on it.
But you could hand off to Jimmy G, which can run down and pass without being in stink. I don't hate that.
Would you hand off to Jimmy?
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
If you can get a catcher in the end zone.
Yeah, first of all, he's got to try and get the catcher in the end zone, right? So
I did call that Jimmy G handoff. Foul appearance.
Okay, so he's giving
Yeah,
up.
I didn't see this as the angle. I thought I'd seen an angle, but it did take a few dice.
Yeah, it was not particularly nice any of the ways I was looking at either.
I mean, mine basically started with a 2-die uphill, but as long as that worked, it looked sort of at least 1 dies and 2 dies from there.
But he's also right. Don't trust Jimmy.
Okay, so 1-0. The elves. We're gonna. So PC, what odds would we see on the DACA here? Odds on the DACA coming out.
Oh, I think 100%, isn't it?
100% odds. So
I mean,
Do you really?
if I could be more certain, I would be. The only thing that stops the DACA here is a very, very forwards kick, and perhaps, I mean, even then it's a perhaps, but perhaps something like a pitch invasion that knocks over half the Nurgle team.
I think a forwards kick can be quite awkward for just for Dakering, because you have to think about how much you want to cover the pickup. He's not got short, so there's always a possibility of rolling a 1, and you do not want to re-roll the pickup in overtime.
No, and you certainly don't want to leave 1, even 2 elves forward when they obviously should all run away and not play Blood Bowl, because that's how you play Blood Bowl.
That's right. So just to explain a couple of things here. So if this match is a draw at the end of the second half, it's going to go to overtime, and then that's 8 more turns, of which there's another flip of a coin to see who gets the offense, and it's sudden death. So whoever scores the touchdown in overtime. So it's 8 turns of overtime. If that overtime does not result in a score, so if it's still like 1-1 at the end of overtime, it will go to 6.
And you probably so Daka is coming from a fumble code that's called Matt Daka. His favorite way of playing Blood Bowl is taking all his pieces and run them back to his own end zone and wait for the opponent, and then try to run past the opponent doing the last couple.
So what we're going to see the Daka here is that basically the idea is the elves do not want to score early. They want to score late, and they don't want to spend most of the turn getting beaten up. So we think, if we're right here, that we're going to see that elves pick up the ball and run right towards the back of the pitch, which means the slow Nurgle team are going to take at least 2 turns to get anywhere near the elves to lay a hand on them, and let alone trying to kill any of them.
And that's if they bother coming at all. If they don't just sit there on the halfway line and say, come on then, you've still got to get past me at some point.
I think that would be unwise, but if that's the case, the elves win anyway, because the elves just get to burn 4 turns for absolute free, and
save all of their re-roll and risk for just 2 or 3 turns towards the end, so they've got a re-roll to cover every turn, and then try and get, hopefully, of course, 50% chance of getting the ball in overtime. Now, if you're a team that thinks, if I've got the ball in overtime, that pretty much means I've won, then going into that 50% chance, and then 50% of the other side that you get it off them, that means if you reach overtime, you back yourself 75% odds. So that's why we're probably not going to see a quick score in an attempt to turn the Nurgle over. If he still had all his best elves, we might, because this is a very good machine for turning people over with its agility and strength. But particularly with that strength 4, agility 5 elf out, I think he'll just take the odds of getting the ball both now and in overtime, meaning a win for him.
So I don't think we're going to take LOS blocks, other than the Mighty Blow catcher is going to blitz here and then run away, and then the 2 blodgers are going to run away as well. So there's going to be no blocks on the line here. We're just going to have 1 blitz. The Mighty Blow catcher is going to blitz and run back. Now, the ball position is great for doing the Daka, because you can just run the fuck away. You don't even need to cover the ball. You can just run everybody away, then blitz with the catcher, run him away, then dodge. The 2 players will dodge off the line, run them away, and then pick up the ball absolute last, and the ball is absolutely safe. So
I'm just going to go and check on my son in disgust.
So here we go. Goes for the blitz. Doesn't get a knockdown.
And runs away.
Run away.
It's a time for the. It's a shame the French taunting is alone.
I think the high elf sound effects are particularly good for this sort of maneuver. It's like the disdainful laugh as they just run away from all these bloated Nurgle warriors. So I'm pretty sure Gestionador would have been expecting this. So
if
he's
seen anything
yeah.
anything of Dio's, he should be expecting this happening.
Yep. And he's going to move up here while trying not to leave an easily blitzable gap.
And he should. Where is his? I was about to say his Nurgle tackle should be in the center, but at least hopefully the claw bomber is.
He's leaving his rackle tackle on there.
Yeah, he's left it.
Yeah.
Dirty player somewhere in the middle. No. Yeah, it's a bit interesting with the kick, choosing to kick it deep for that reason. I've kept it short for the same reason, knowing Dio wanted to do this, so at least it had to pick it up in a failure state.
Now he could quite easily have gone through there if he'd have wanted to. He obviously doesn't want to, but he could quite easily have just blitzed the kick Nurgle rotter and gone through there.
Then the whole his team will be stuck in the middle.
What do you mean? Whole of whose team?
Will be stuck in the middle of the Nurgle because they're still not that fast.
But he had quite a lot of catches up front there and stuff. So
Yeah.
like I'm just saying he could have gone through there. I don't think that screen is impenetrable. We'll see if he leaves. I don't think he'll leave a hole like that again. But I don't. Certainly wasn't an impenetrable screen. But Dio's not looking to go through it.
No, he's probably not even looking at it.
He left the hole at bay, maybe.
Yeah, I will imagine it almost looked like it because everything else is covered.
Yeah.
So it almost looks like he was leaving it on to see if Dio was going for it. Oh, he gets all the time in the world to.
Right, so it's just gonna. Okay, so this is one way of dealing with the Dakar. You just don't go forward.
I'm trying to get a better position.
Now think about, basically, if you were elves right now and you hadn't done the Dakar, you would be fighting, trying to make some blocks, trying to dodge away from tents. You would be getting your players fouled every single turn, and you wouldn't be moving forward because you don't want to move forward on turns 1, 2, or 3 of the drive. So there'd be massive carnage going on here. 1 or 2 elves would have been removed already, and well, maybe that's a little bit exaggerating, but you know.
Oh, he got a hit on the ball carrier. He's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically no. They have to tackle claw bomber. That's it, really. Especially when he decided to take 10s.
Yeah, 10s over tackle. Okay, so he's coming forwards now.
Yeah, he realized he's not coming down to him.
Yeah, but would you have come forwards this time?
I don't like the full deck. I prefer like half deckering around. I prefer staying on the middle of on my half, but the top half of mine, and just move around.
Okay.
I don't like the failure state of starting all the way back. I do it sometimes, but the problem if you have a bad 1-1 early on, you risk losing the game. Where if you snake longer up the pitch, then at least you have a turn to hunt down the ball again if you lose it.
True, but I would have been quite happy there to just pass one more turn.
Yeah, one turn. Yeah, true pass. I think he got a. It was leaving the ball carrier on. I think that made him come forward a bit, getting the tackle hit on the ball carrier.
Wow, maybe, but yeah, I guess so. But like, it doesn't really make a difference whether he goes for it this turn or next turn.
No.
I mean, it's one turn when you're not getting hit by mighty blow and you're not getting fouled. So, like, if
at least shuffling them around every turn.
Yeah, Dio sort of came forward there. When Gestionador did come forward, Dio did come forward. So I was just questioning whether or not Core would have done that. I think I would have spent another turn. I would have just clicked end turn.
But again, don't particularly. I don't like the failure state of the full decker.
But I don't think it needed to be a full decker. You could still push up with a couple of turns to spare for a snake.
Yeah, but it's.
To me, it's only got to be a full decker if they don't advance. If they advance like this, then as soon as you get past them, you can stall up at the other end, which is infinitely safer.
Yeah, true.
Ooh.
Foul didn't work.
That's the first not casualty foul. What's this? It's been saving his power and it's not working.
Interesting that he went for a blitz on. He went for a blitz on a warrior just on a defensive line man there. I suppose Dio's not got a bench, so if he just removes anybody, then
yeah, I think
absolutely.
With the
Anything
bribe,
you can chip at this point.
Yeah, and with the bribe again. So now
he didn't want to leave his tackle bomber out of position, but
I was going to say the obvious route is down the side he's currently attacking, but it's not. He's not going to be able to get that many through.
No.
Yeah, and this is where the wizard can play a role really, because when you squeeze elves so they have to make an offense with maybe like 4 elves or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's difficult to protect from the wizard to get enough people up there.
Oh yeah,
the champ is raiding you, Core. The champ is raiding.
So you can control through the different levels, including getting great on the pitch and only seeing learned skills. So if you see all skills, it's quite a lot. You can control again to see only learned.
Good evening, Dimmy. How's it going? It's been actually quite a good game here, coming to the boil, I think.
Well, I mean, Nuffle has decided to give us a cracking game. He's taken just enough of the right elves off to make this definitely not easy.
Definitely some interesting decisions for Dio when he got the riot. That was a really interesting turn.
Yes, he played it terribly.
Dio was trying to set up for a 1-turner, and then he got a riot to turn it into a 2-turner.
And he did a very, very lame feint attack down one wing, which never looked like working, before then reconnecting with the 1-turner, which didn't look particularly easy to work either. And neither worked very well, and both failed.
Went for 1-turner anyway.
Going back. No, he's going
So that's
up.
cost him another square of movement, but he is still advancing it.
Yeah.
You feel here a frenzy would have been helpful in limiting the Dakar.
I sidestep on 2 out of the 4 pieces.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will not be able to make any more comments about this game because otherwise Dimmy will post the verses in chat.
When you got sent packing twice in a row. Oh, twice in same evening.
Twice in a row.
Was it in a row or was it just same evening? I keep forgetting.
It was the same evening. It wasn't 2 matches in a row. One was later on in the evening.
Yeah. It felt like 2 matches in a row watching the stream.
It was a low point.
Well, I mean, if you in some way felt this needed redress, you could point out that there's a piece on the field called Dimmy G.
Who is an absolute noob.
Where is Dimmy?
It's the only realistic chance of seeing Dimmy G in a Chalice final, of course.
The burn, the sick burn. Good night, Matthew. Have a good evening. Thanks for joining us. It's been a good match so far. Catch up on the VOD.
Yeah. To be fair, we also had a list of Dimmy G's challenge teams.
Surely it's Dimmy G qualifying teams. That's an absolute classic of the genre.
Yeah, you're right. He could make it on none of his teams. He's a common piece. It's a regular one-of-the-mill pieces.
Now, what I quite like and find interesting about this semi-dackering attempt we've got. Well, Dimmy G has been knocked out. It's a bit late. He's had a couple of the beers. Now he's retreated to sit on the bench.
Yeah, indeed.
So there is a slightly rowdy catcher left over the other side, away from the Dakar attacker. And of course, you can't leave that entirely alone. If you overcommit to sweeping around in front of this force down the side, then you leave an opportunity to the other side.
Like it's still very likely that high elf scores. It's 11. It was 11 high elf to start with, right? It's even with the
it's
fat trimmed a bit.
incredibly hard to stop them.
And that doesn't help.
Wolf goals. Wow.
And he's already considering taking it because he wants to keep his Kekwity.
But then he thinks it's negate. It's a lovely piece, and you don't even need to follow up here.
Well, gets an armor break for his troubles.
Oh, but and it's a natural armor break. Mighty Blow is carrying.
I'd pile that on.
Yeah, I think I probably would.
And it's negate going. That's bad also. So makes his drive so much easier, not having to think about a sidestep diving tackle on the board.
Yeah. Although I suppose you didn't have to pile it on because the dirty player could potentially have got around there.
Yeah, but now the dirty
again,
player
we continue to see the right elves go out, don't we? That's the important thing, I think.
Yeah, he's getting some good elves out.
Now, the flip side, and one of the reasons why Clawpom isn't the everything and people think it is if you look at the defensive position now, he's got the remaining beast Pestigore to cover both that sideline, which needs covering again, because the beast piled on. But now that does leave him a little thin, not as thin as he could be, but a little thinner in the centre.
Opa, 1 in 9 as well.
Okay, so what am I thinking about doing as elves here? Where's the breakthrough?
I mean, there is the rowdy move through the catcher I pointed out over on the other side of the field.
But how do you protect
It's in
against...
2 stink zones, though, so it's still a 4+ catch, so that's a 1 in 4 fail.
Mm-hmm.
And you also need to think about the strings 4 that should have had 2 heads in the middle.
Yeah, but if you can take that beast, Nurgle warrior down, you can probably push through after it to tank that piece up.
Maybe you just
it's not a lot of movement. There might be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Otherwise, you've got to fall back.
You can also fall
with
back.
With that piece going, your Dakka down the side has failed.
Are there any options up the left?
It's not great, is it?
I mean, yes, there are, because you've got because you've got 2 guard pieces.
Yeah, you can 1 dice. You can, but you need. The problem is how to stand.
No, you're
right?
Yeah.
You could 1 dice the kick guy.
But you need to. But you need to. But the problem is, you need to move the guard piece you want to go forward with to do that.
Right well, now, you might have. Yeah, you might have to 2 die uphill it.
Yeah, you could.
It's not easy.
Uphill the kick guy. Uphilling the kick guy when you've got block and he doesn't have block is a decent option.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 30. We're back to the 30% to fail.
It's not a great option, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, but you can also slide the guard in, but you really want that guard to go forward.
Yeah, you want the guard blood stepper up there, but I mean, you could put the guard in to cancel the assist of the dirty player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Blitz with him? Okay, so we're not going fast.
Okay, so he's gone for I don't think he's going forward this turn, is he? Is he just going to try and dodge up the left through the tackle zones?
He could do, but he cannot get it. Can he get out of range of the tackle?
He can just do 1 in 9 dodge to come past the warrior in the center here with a catcher. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah, okay, that's.
But then again, you're back to how do you deal with the backfield threat of the strength 4
and the wizard
tackle that should have 2 heads.
Well, I think what you could do here is you could come back, you could screen with 2 players, bring the ball back, screen with 2 players, and dodge the rackle catch around the corner, around the right hand, dodge the rackle catch around the right hand corner, and get him up like as a scoring threat on the right hand side, and then dodge the mighty blow catcher forward past the Nurgle warrior.
And give yourself 2 options on opposite sides of the field. I like that.
Or you just go up.
Or you just go with the ball and say, "Sod it, come get me."
It's 85. But if one of them 1 in 9's the dots now, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Isn't he punting or?
Nope. He's
you think he's gonna get a screen through behind it as well?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. He's staying right there. He's got to be fouling this piece then.
I'll imagine so.
You would have thought so, yeah.
Otherwise, this if it's been killed, Bill, you've been fouling.
Suicidally stupid place to just decide to end.
If you've been Kill Bill, you've been fouling with the ball carrier. Miss Kill Bill. He's not been watching any of the cards this season. Dog to the dog.
Well, this is saucy dice.
This
He
is
must-
really crunch time here. There's really crunch
Whoop,
time.
whoop.
Yeah, I think we're all fascinated to see how this turn works out.
It's the foul. It's the foul.
Oh, he's got the reroll.
And he makes it and gets sent off.
He stacked the 2 dodges. Like he missed the dodge in the first one, stacked the second one. Was he out
Yeah.
of movement there? Was he? Could he not
Could
just
he
do
go-
one more movement and not do a second dodge?
Yeah.
I don't think he could. No, I think those are go for it as well.
Was it
weren't
2
they?
go for it
Did
as
he
well?
do 2 go for it?
No, there's no go for it.
No go
that
for
was
it.
one. That's one
Well, that's
go
a
for it.
mistake.
That's one go for it.
That's
But
a
that
mistake
mean-
because
but it-
after he used the dodge, the 3+ dodge on the first one, he should have just done a 2+2+2 to get there rather than trying to dodge the second time around. Wow, this
Well,
looks
it worked after a fashion.
Okay.
well. Well,
Don't
I wasn't very
like
happy about
that. I didn't think you needed it, frankly.
I was thinking, bring the ball back. Then the wizard is an option, but the pickup and recovery is not that great, and get 2 You could have got 2 catches forward as 2 scoring threats on that turn.
I mean, he's got the ideal bounce from it, I have to say. That's if you could choose a square to put it in from that wizard, that's the one. So that's the good side. That is recoverable, but there was a lot of options that were not as good. And I think you could have got the ball without it, but I don't hate the wizard. It wasn't been my choice. I don't hate it though.
I think the wizard's fine there. I think you just go balls out to get the ball, and if he gets the ball and protects it now, Dio's looking pretty thin, I think, and he's
It's not going to be with the pure hands.
he's going to pick up on the strength 4, I think, blitz and pick up on the strength 4.
Okay, that makes kind of sense. But wrestle, ball carry. On the other hand, the tackle piece is wrestle anyway.
I'm absolutely fine with using the wizard that turn. I sensed blood in the water, and I feel like that was the turn to use the wizard. So we'll see what happens, but quite often the wizard should be on a big momentum turn, or just after a big momentum turn. So
Oh, and gets a pow.
yep. And why not leave him on the 10s there?
Yeah, I was
Yeah, that's
thinking
lovely.
that-
This could be a game-changing moment. I mean, game-changing. This could be the game turn here, right here.
You could have pushed that blodger onto the 10s guy, right? What's the point of just
Yeah.
pushing it there?
Yeah,
Failure state, if you fail the pickup, it could hit the laying down player and jump out away from everybody.
Nah.
no, it's
could.
still better. It's still better tagged.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find the upside about it. That's the only I can see with putting him away was the failure state of the failed pickup.
It didn't look like he thought that hard about it, but
Oh, and that's
This
a
is
beautiful
looking
KO.
good.
I think it was the option he was going to pick in case it didn't power, and he just stuck with it. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
no
If it
more
didn't power, he
complex
was
than that.
pushed that way, wasn't he? So yeah.
Ooh, so
Right, it's going to be to see what Dio comes up with here. He is up against the wall.
Yeah, this is huge. It is a wrestle ball carrier, that's right. So the uphill gives a slightly better chance at an uphill.
But we are at 7 elves, and they're not particularly good ones.
And he's
be-
got 3
be-
turns.
Timmy, to be
All the-
fair, he's put those comment on himself.
All the good ones got broken.
Sorry, but
So let's think about this offensive half so far. He did Daka for 2 turns.
He
then
did.
He went forward, and then
And then he tried to sneak up the side using the double guard to get 2 dice.
he'll
But when it was a
fine.
both down, it cost him a space of movement, meaning that the ball had to stay back behind the line. And the only elf that advanced got taken out. So the Daka fell apart.
I think Gestionador's played it well. Like, it's interesting that he did not come forward.
Yeah.
He stayed on the halfway line, and used his wizard on the right turn. I think he's done fine. Well played.
And Revo. But
Coming
gets
in with the Rackler.
for push.
Just got to re-roll it. Doesn't re-roll it. Does re-roll it. Sorry.
Yep, but no change in the choices.
Did he reroll it?
What happened there?
No, not
I thought he
that
did,
dice.
didn't he? No. Yes, there's a reroll in there. Oh no, it was the dodge that was rerolled. I misread that.
But that was away from
Didn't he have
Saga.
dodge?
That was a dodge.
Yeah, that was the dodge.
Yeah, that
No,
was the
he's still
built-in
got
dodge.
No
3
reroll.
rerolls, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Didn't re-roll that. Okay. I would have thought.
Yeah, me too. I think you need to change the luck at this point. So
What's an uphill Rackle looking like in terms of odds of getting them down?
I don't think hanging in there is a particularly good way of achieving what you need here, which is to get that ball off him and score.
It's
So
really-
uphill Rackle is 25% or 44% with if you use a reroll on it. So I think because he'd made everything else, I think you change that into a 44%, don't you? That's
Yeah, it seems with 3 rerolls, and running out of time as well.
definitely like he's not just got to get the ball down; he's got to pick it up and score as well. So
I mean, it's a long shot that it turns into the dice you want it to be honest.
Yeah,
that turn there, that turn
it's
there,
44.
he
At the
had
time in the game,
edge
where
five
taking a
recovery.
long shot is the only shot you're going to get. So
That particular turn, he had the edge 5 for recovery right there. That
yeah,
wasn't
absolutely.
stunned or anything. Could have picked it up and punted maybe or something. I don't know, but
And 44 is not bad because he got it. Do they have enough players to he can just cage the ball fully and foul? No, he cannot because he needs to foul that piece. But if that's a armor break and not a send off,
I mean, I was originally thinking he was going to do that when he broke through, a punt and then recover the next turn.
Yeah,
But to do that, you break through with a couple of other pieces first,
yeah, that's the
and
problem.
then the ball carrier goes maybe third.
But he can put enough. He could now just cage the ball and then foul the dude. And if he stays in, he cannot hit him next turn.
thing is with Dio's breakthrough attempt is that even if that foul had actually,
Yeah,
I don't know, what was he hoping for? Like the Rackle strength 4 beast was just still a 3+ dodge away from sacking the ball. So I guess he was hoping that he couldn't sack and recover. But
Sag and recover.
well, it's all happened in a few turns in the second half here. Elves not managing to get forward, not managing to score with 11 elves.
Well, it is the problem with the Dakar is that in that key turn when you attack, if it doesn't quite work as you want it to, suddenly that one big chance has stalled up. I mean, it wasn't a full Dakar because he went earlier than you would otherwise.
Yeah.
And stunning the piece is almost better than actually getting rid of it because that
Yeah,
blocks one
because-
entrance. Now he needs to block from the top.
And still got his bribe dry, so can keep putting those feet in.
He's not.
Has he got any players that need leveling up for the next match? Any chaos warriors that need an extra SPP?
Quick vanity pass, yeah.
How many fouls has he actually done? Like 4 or 5?
Yeah, the refs.
It's not that, but to be fair, I've tried people doing a lot more without getting sent off as well.
Yeah.
He's not been using the dirty play as freely as you can imagine with that bribe being around.
Scottish ref. This is an old firm match, Mazim. The turn Dio did work, just the end state wasn't good. Yeah, I mean, nothing actually went wrong. He did manage to get the foul off in the end. Was he running out of time when he did that second dodge? When he triggered dodge on the first 3+ dodge, he then went and did another 3+ dodge when he could have done a 2+, I think, and left himself in a better position. But
Dio definitely needs to dodge scoring threat. Otherwise, it's definitely GG.
Yeah,
He's got to put something in range. I mean, this is all so incredibly bleak, but you've still got to go through the motions of those 2% and 3%, don't you? So you need at least one thing in range, ideally 2, and then you do need to try and find a way to attack this bunker. It doesn't need to go anywhere. That's the problem. They don't even need to progress. They can just sit where they are.
Can anyone remember whether time was a factor in that turn when Dio came forward? Was he running out of time?
I don't think so.
We were thinking about maybe getting a couple of catchers forward as 2 scoring threats.
And it sounded like Yak and Andrew wanted to go the red dice and blitz up the sideline and get more people through that way. I don't hate that either.
That was our first.
That was my first. What That was my first instinct, was take the 2 dice uphill, block the next one, blitz the next one, and run up the sideline.
Well, because I mean, it sounds terribly bleak, but of course, because you start in a fairly defended position, if the 2 dice against fails, you can consider just not re-rolling it, just eating it and seeing where they go to next turn.
Is he just...
2 dice fails on the first action. It's a big momentum swing, though, isn't it? Even if the ball is protected.
Yes, but if you're in a position where you don't see a good way forwards, that momentum swing might be for them to put things into a slightly less good position, to open up a hole, to push too far down one flank. I mean, it may not, it may get worse, but there's also a chance they don't set quite as good a field that turn, if you see what I mean.
And I really don't understand this turn ordering, because you have next turn as well to try to get the ball. Now he's definitely lost, because now he just need to take down the player that's standing, and then everything doesn't really matter.
Absolutely. There's only one player now that's any kind of danger, isn't there?
Yeah,
Well, it's not even a danger, is it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's bad. It's not even, but you still got a tackle piece on it, so surely you're just saying goodbye to that one as well.
Well, congratulations, Gestionador. We have a new champion.
We do.
It's a first-time champion. I know he's got a couple of outs, but I think it's first-time champion, isn't it?
But I think Nurgle have won before, haven't they?
Nurgle has won, and Dio has won with Nurgle.
I'm kidding. Of course they have.
No, Elp. We've been quite impressed watching Gestionador. I've watched...
You've watched quite a lot
of his
games,
matches, I think. 3 of his matches. I played against Gestionador in the ladder this season, or last season.
100% also fair to say that he's had the better dice this game, but he's used them very effectively. I think his plans were fairly decent.
I don't think Dio's dice have been... Like, when's Dio had horrible dice?
I would suggest that the armor rolls of the Nurgle have been quite positive.
Well, he got his beast cast on turn 2, didn't panic.
That's true.
Random mighty blow.
You can discuss all 3 of his al. This is his second account. It's number 2. He's probably most known for his third account.
It hasn't felt like a dicing. I don't think this has felt like a dicing.
No, not 100%. But I do think he's had the better dice slightly than Nurgle. I think he's used them very effectively. I think his plans have been decent.
Yeah.
I think the High Elves have done a couple of questionable turns. I didn't like how they dealt with the Riot one-turn situation. I thought that was poor.
Yeah.
I thought the Daka, if you're going to pull it, I would have liked to have seen more of a move in strength to one side. I think it was a little half-hearted. And I think we saw ways forwards that perhaps weren't taken at that time too.
DP finally gets whistled.
So I don't think Dio's played to his best. But then he's had some, I think from his point of view, he would say that his best elves went early. And they did. But then he also put them at risk to some degree.
Well, yeah, I suppose they're niggled.
But you have to if you're going to win the game.
Yeah.
And he hasn't,
But ultimately, if you do look at the bottom left of the screen, you do see there are 7 elves that are out, dead and injured.
The two
knocked out too.
When the game is already decided, though, aren't they? So, he started off in the second half 1-0 down with 11 elves on the pitch to try and.
Yeah, there was 3.
Absolutely. And from there, even against a wizard, you thought there was a good chance we saw overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Johannian is saying again, it does feel a bit like you didn't commit really to any of the things when there was any big on.
It was a fun game to watch, though, and it didn't go to overtime, so...
I have to say that's what I felt, and I said it at the time, that there were just a few turns where he committed to sort of too many things and not specifically to one clear line enough to really sort of force that home.
Yeah. I think Dio will be... He's a fairly zen person, isn't he? So he'll be... fairly chilled about the thing, but
I don't think he'll be gutted. I think he did his best, and that's all one can ask of oneself. But I think if you were looking for areas to look as to why that happened, that would be where I would start to look.
Oh, Zartak, I disagree. Like unless you're kind of joking about like elves never doing well in the chalice, like I think all 3 of us had the elves as a hot favourite for this match. So
massively. I thought it was a fairly routine win for them.
Yeah, that's an upset for me, I think. And well played, Gestionador, indeed. Carla, I totally agree. Good stuff.
And mass removals, yeah, just tree removals, but they are the right tree removals.
Yes.
Or
Hello,
not
Dio.
the tree. It was the dirty player and the movement 9 was the 2 main pieces. Yep, you can
Well,
do more help, Dio.
Let's fire some questions at Dio. What should we ask him? What do we? Oh, yeah. So, like, take me through the riot plan, Dio. Like, when you rolled a riot there, we were thinking, oh my god, this is a gift from the gods. So, what was your plan for the riot?
1-1 nailed on. Game over.
Not setting for a riot. What, you thought the one turner was too low odds that you should have just set up for a riot anyway?
You can definitely, I guess you can set up for the one turner going around the 10s, which I left it better for the one turner for the riot.
Yes, you can. You can do
Yeah,
both.
if you change.
And against foul appearance, disturbing presence, I'd have said that setting up for both probably does make sense.
Yeah, I better like the push. It's easier to do the pushing the way the Dio's direction, but of course you also commit a lot to that side of the cage.
And when the riot came, it looked like you had a look at going around the other side. But perhaps when the tentacles popped and held that guard piece centrally, you changed back to trying the one turn. Is that right?
And how did you feel about it when your Daka Gambit was declined? You were going to try and put 3 in range. Yeah, I thought that was what you were trying to do. What, dodging the Rackle catcher around the right-hand side and getting the catcher that you'd push forward to do like a couple of 1 in 9.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you could have like pushed up in strength up the right-hand side, looking like with some GFIs, but you didn't fancy doing the GFIs, I guess. But or maybe just go for the pickup first. We were kind of expecting you to blitz the blodge ball carrier beast on the right-hand side and then move some pieces up the right. What's the snowball? Is that the drink you were drinking at the time?
No, a snowball is when you start to lose pieces, so you get so overwhelmed by the others that you keep losing pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt that was happening a bit in the first half, mainly about the importance of the pieces. Particularly, obviously, the strength 4, agility 5. When that was gone, I sort of felt a lot of your game plan seemed to disappear with it. So I'm not sure there was much of a plan B left, if I'm being overly critical.
Yeah, it was a good match. We were enjoying watching it. I think
it's a cracking game of Blood Bowl.
Enjoying watching it. So, and I have super enjoyed watching your high elf run through the.
In general,
well, except for I didn't really enjoy watching the high elf match against the rats that you played against. Enjoyed watching all the other matches.